I know that some of you are getting bored in this quarantine period, but just hang on. Trust the process, have faith, and we will all get through this. And keep your cool. We have an interesting topic today. It's all about the different ways and how we can overcome fear. But before we proceed, let's play this. Let me ask you, what scares you? What do you fear? Let me share these clips with you. conquer. Conquering fears, overcoming fears is actually so fulfilling. Feeling that you can actually do whatever it is that your mind can conceive. Here is an interesting fact that I want to share with you. Did you know that all fears are learned? No one is born with fear. Therefore, fears can be unlearned. How do we do that? You can do that by practicing self-discipline repeatedly with regard to fear until it goes away. Do you know the most common fears that we all experience that sabotage hope and success? These are the fear of failure, fear of poverty, fear of losing money. These fears cause people to avoid risk of any kind and to reject opportunity when it is presented to them. They are so afraid of failure that they are almost paralyzed in terms of taking all the chances that they have, all the chances that this world has been giving them. Now, what is the common reaction in a fear situation? That is the attitude of I cannot. I can't. This is the fear of failure that stops us from taking action. And not taking action won't do any good for you. Always remember this, my good friend. You only have one life, and we will only pass this world once. Why not do those things that you wanted to do? Why not grab those opportunities and try doing it? Try doing something new. Try doing something different. That will definitely free you up, and that will get you to somewhere. There is nothing to lose, but more to gain. And now, let me share with you some of the ways on how you can overcome fear. Number 1, understand fear and embrace it. We need to remember that fear exists to keep us safe. It is not inherently bad or good, but a tool that we can use to make better decisions. Fear isn't designed to keep us inactive, but to help us act in ways that generate the results we need and want. Embrace fear as instructions and let it inform your actions, but not to control them. Number 2, don't just do something, stand there. We tend to admire people who are quick to action, but being deliberate, creating a plan, and pacing yourself are also actions. Many successful undertakings have been threatened or ruined by haste alone. When fear strikes, consider whether the correct actions might be to analyze the options and make a wise, well thought out choice rather than jumping to what seems right in the heat of the moment. Number 3, name the fear. Sometimes by just merely stating what your fear is gives you the strength to deal with it. Say your fear out loud, write it down, or focus your mind on it. When you try to ignore your fear, it grows. But when you face it, when you deal with your fear, it will shrink. Number 4, think long term. Say for instance, if you're an entrepreneur, you may be afraid you won't make the next payroll. But what's your 3-month outlook or the outlook for 3 years from now? Thinking about long term will not fix your short-term problem, but can help you think about it more objectively and come up with the right solution. Number 5, educate yourself. We are afraid of nothing so much as the unknown. If your fear is based on lack of information, then get the information or knowledge that you need for you to examine the situation based on facts rather than speculation. Number 6, prepare, practice, role play. There's this article that I was able to read that in the US, the long-standing top fear is actually public speaking. In many surveys, death itself ranks in the second place, as compared to standing in front of the group and opening your mouth. If your fear is related to your performance in a certain activity, then it is recommended that you prepare, you practice, and you role play. You know Dr. Jill Taylor? She had a popular TED Talk and she practiced more than 200 times. And that specific video got an over 18 million views and counting. If you don't have much time, then you can practice at a minimum of 10 times. Number 7, utilize peer pressure. Have you ever done something scary, like jumping off a high bridge into a river below, only because you were with friends who were egging you on? Peer pressure, like fear itself, can be positive or negative, depending on how it's wielded. Surround yourself with people who will push you to overcome your fear, people who will support you no matter what. Number 8, visualize success. Athletes may imagine the successful completion of a physical task thousands of times before achieving it. This mental mapping ensures that when the body moves, it's more likely to follow its preordained path. The same practice that will prepare you to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Number 9, get help. Whatever you're afraid of, is it something that you have to do alone? Find a mentor or a support group who can help you get through it. Athletes have coaches, students have teachers, and sometimes friends. Even if your friends do not have expertise on a specific area you're struggling with, they can provide that needed support to face your fear. Number 10, have a positive attitude. Let me ask you these questions. What would you do differently if you were absolutely guaranteed of success in any undertaking? Would you try more things? Would you keep working long after others would have given up? People who have positive attitude are successful because they keep trying after others give up. And number 11, be willing to pivot. If at first you don't succeed, try again. But there's also the saying, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you're afraid to do something again because it didn't work out the last time, figure out why it didn't work and try something different before you give up trying altogether. Before we end our topic for today, I just want to share with you some of these questions that you can internalize before making a life-changing decision. What is the worst case scenario if I did what I'm considering? What are all the things I could do to minimize that from happening? If the worst case scenario happened, what steps could I take to repair the damage? What would I attempt to do if I knew I could not fail? Please remember those questions. Please find time to internalize those questions and find meaning on its answer to overcome fear. I have a huge favor to ask all of you. Can you answer this question? First, what scares you? And second, what can you do about it? Type your questions down below and also share your answers. I hope you learned something today. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. Thank you for listening.